All right, so today we have a self-guided bike tour that we're going on. And so we've got a few different places we're gonna try to hit in Kyoto. And so we just rode our bikes about 40 minutes across town from our guest house, and we just arrived at Fushimi-Inari. We're gonna check out this temple for a little while and see what all it has to offer.
We had no idea there were so many of these. We just thought there was like a little trail with these red arches, but like we saw a map and it looks like it goes on all the way around Inari Mountain. So we're excited to see how far it goes.
So we've been hiking for about an hour now, coming up the mountain. We just came to a map and we can see that we have only covered maybe a third. And this goes all the way to the top of Mount Inari, so we weren't ready for a hike, but I think we're gonna do one now. We really need to start researching more into the things that we're gonna go do.
Oh my gosh. I thought we were in decent shape. We're still going on these stairs. Oh, I think we're almost there. It said 5 minutes to the mountaintop. To the top.
Turns out we did make it to the top of the Mount Inari, and so now we gotta make the whole long trek down. So that's the view of the city of Kyoto down below the mountain. So we're heading back down the rest of the way, and hopefully we'll be a lot faster than coming up. But really big surprise going up there and finding out there's a huge hike up to the top of a mountain with these arches going the whole way. Really expected it just to be like a small sidewalk of arches, and we would ooh and ah, and we would go check out the temple, but we haven't even seen the main temple yet. So we're gonna go down and try to see that and then head out. And Aubrey's starting to get hungry, so we're gonna try to look for some food for her, I think. All right, so we made it back down from Mount Inari finally after a few hour longer of a hike than what we expected. And so we are on our bikes. I got Aubrey back behind me. And we are going to try to meander our way back to our hotel, but probably stop and eat something along the way. We anticipated making a couple more stops today. We thought we'd only be at this temple for like an hour or so, but ended up being a lot longer than expected. Really need to do a lot more research in the places we're going, but it's always fun surprises that we end up doing. So making our way back, and it's about a 40-minute bike ride back there. Like I said, we're gonna stop and eat something, so you know, we'll probably be back there sometime this evening. So Alright, so we made it to Hiroshima, and then we had about a 24-minute walk to our hotel, and we couldn't check in until 2 o'clock, and so we're here early. It's about noon, and so we were able to just drop off our bags, and then we're having to go out and walk around for a little while until we're able to go actually check in. And so we're gonna take a walk down to Hiroshima's Peace Memorial Park and see what museums and everything they have around there, and then we think we'll just be back there around dinner time or after dinner time. So we're gonna walk around and just check out Hiroshima for a little while. We're really excited about being here because tomorrow one of the ladies that we met in Tokyo, her brother is a pastor here, and they asked if we could come visit their church, and then asked if we would be able to go get lunch with them afterwards. So we're excited to be able to meet them and then spend a meal with somebody local. And in the meantime, we're just gonna do some sightseeing and see everything that Hiroshima has. So we're excited to be here.
So we just went to the Children's Peace Monument that's dedicated to all of the children who died as a result of the atomic bomb. And this whole area just seems very peaceful. Like each sign talks about how it's all dedicated to peace and wanting peace and no more wars. And it seems like a hopeful and peaceful place.
Yeah, so we made it to the park, and all around is like panoramic pictures of like immediately after the atomic bomb dropped here, and so it just shows the devastation that occurred here. And honestly, we're trying to like kind of grapple with our like kind of the feelings of being here. It's kind of bizarre being an American and like visiting this site, and just knowing, I don't know, just knowing like we've come so far and like we're, you know, great allies now and everything, but it's still just kind of bizarre being here and kind of trying to figure out like how do you, I don't know, present yourself, I guess, like as you're walking around this park, and seeing the destruction and then all the little plaques that talk about the history of what occurred here and during the war and whatnot, and then seeing the memorials to like the children that passed away from the atomic bomb blast that you know, the Americans dropped. So it's an interesting experience being here, and kind of experiencing, especially from like our perspective, I guess. So we just went inside of a smaller museum that's dedicated to the victims of the atomic bomb. And so in there was really interesting, learning more about the history and reading about like the actual bomb exploding here. But right next to me is the, I guess the main museum for this Peace Park. But unfortunately, it's completely under construction, but they're talking about that it's undergoing earthquake proofing and renovations right now. So we don't get to go inside there. But there's other sites that we're gonna walk around and see. Like up here seems to be some Chinese parasols, what they call the trees, and they were, I guess, actually exposed to the atomic bomb. So we're gonna walk over to see those, and then after that we're gonna go see the actual hypocenter of the explosion, which is actually outside of the memorial park and on the opposite side of the river. So we're gonna go walk over there and see that area too. So these trees were actually here and exposed to the radiation and the explosion about 1,300 meters away from the hypocenter, it says. And so you can still see, it looks like burn marks on it, but the trees are still growing here. And so it looks like they were transplanted here in the 70s from somewhere else. But kind of crazy that these things actually survived and they're still growing today. So this plaque over here just said that this bridge, I don't know how to pronounce it, it's A-I-O-I bridge. It's a distinct T-shaped bridge, and saying that was the target of the atomic bomb, which is nuts. They said that the bridge actually survived the blast and lasted for 35 more years, but then had to be rebuilt in the 80s after just age had taken its toll on it. So So this is not the original bridge, but this is exactly where the target of the bomb was. So this building with a dome is now a World Heritage Site, but this is left as a kind of a reminder of the atomic bomb dropping in. It was left standing. The plaques were saying because the bomb detonated almost directly above it, that it pushed down on the concrete interior walls and left them standing, and then also left some of the metal work from the dome remaining. And so that's why it's still there, but they've left like rubble on the ground around it and everything like that, and it's just really insane to see that building still standing after such, you know, destruction all around it. But so now we're going down an alleyway that's supposed to be to where the hypocenter of the atomic bomb was. It doesn't seem like there may not be anything there because there's really nothing like advertising where it is, except for on a little map it just kind of has a dot and just says this is where the hypocenter was. But so we're gonna walk there and just see if there's a plaque or anything in that location. So right in this area is 600 meters up is where the atomic bomb actually detonated, and now it's a parking lot and, you know, a couple of skyscrapers and stuff. But yeah, so 600 meters directly above is where the first nuclear weapon in history actually detonated.
So we were rushing to the train station to go get on a train so we could go see the floating gate near Hiroshima. But then as we were walking in the train station, we saw all these people coming out that were wearing what looked like Hiroshima Carps baseball jerseys. And so we looked it up, and just the little we know about Japanese baseball, it seemed like the equivalent of the World Series was happening here in Hiroshima today. And so that explains why everything was booked whenever we were trying to get a hotel, and it was way more expensive than we had planned on for our hotel here. And so then we followed the crowd, rushed over to this baseball stadium in hopes that we could get tickets, because this was one of like the three main things Donnie wanted to do while we're here in Japan. He really wanted to go to a Japanese baseball game. And so we got up to the ticket counter, and of course they're sold out. So sadly we're walking away, trying to see if we can go see this gate, but a little bummed.
All right, so the train ended up being quite a bit longer to get out to the ferry to try to go see the floating gate. And so we are just now getting here, and the sun is setting, so we may be able to catch a glimpse of it while the sun has some light still out, but we're rushing over trying to find out where we're supposed to be going. Hopefully we can finally see this guy, and then I'm hoping to call it a night. And just like the hop on, hop off bus tour, there goes our ferry. Hopefully another one's coming. Hopefully we'll be able to see something while there's still some sort of light. So we made it out to the ferry to get to the floating gate, and the sun is disappearing behind the mountains. It's getting very dark on this side of the mountains. I don't know what to expect at the gate, but
It's gonna be amazing.
I'm kind of expecting it to be dark and us to maybe see a silhouette of a gate.
Probably, yeah.
But we made it out here, and I hope that the ferries will bring us back, because I don't know what the timetable is, and I don't know how long these run for, but I don't want to be stuck on this island.
Okay, Okay, so we finally made it to the floating gate, and it's pretty dark, so we can't see it super well, but it looks really pretty. I mean, it's kind of cool in the dark, I guess. Probably would be better than daylight, but I'm glad we at least saw it.